My computer was having issues. I don't know what the deal was, so it wasn't connecting. So anyway, I want to come to you today and talk to you about Operation Child Protector from the Polk County Sheriff's Office in Florida. Here are your 17 child predators that were put away today. 17 child predators put away today. I want you to take a good look at these people. There's a reason I'm having you look at these people's faces. I want you to get a good look. Get a real good look at these people's faces. Because you're going to be shocked at why. You're going to get shocked at some of these people's professions. Just want you to be aware. When I start reading this list, I want you to be, hey, Zara, I want you to be aware after seeing those people's faces. And there is a woman in that list. Savannah Lawrence. Child predators. Okay. The sheriff was reading off this list, and I had to laugh because he was saying some things that was quite comical. It's not funny. He was trying to make light of a situation, but we're going to start with 26-year-old Kenneth Javier Aquino, which is this guy right here. Kenneth Aquino. This guy right here. This lovely mug right here. Isn't that a face you'd like to like? He engaged in an online conversation on a social networking site with an undercover detective who was posing as a 13-year-old girl. 13 years old. Do you want to know where this guy works? Disney World. As a custodian. He asked for the address to the undercover location. They asked for the address. So he was talking to, never, any children were never, ever, ever in danger at any time. These were undercover officers who are very well versed in how to deal with predators like these. And so he asked the girl to send photos, and he sent her explicit video of himself. They communicated via text messages and cell phone, and he got the address, and he was arrested without incident. He told deputies that he's a lifeguard at Animal Kingdom. He was also in the Navy. He was at work wearing a Disney polo shirt, swimming trunks, and Crocs. He told detectives he was a Navy veteran and he has a pregnant girlfriend. His criminal history includes a previous arrest for possession of marijuana, possession of a concealed weapon, and failure to appear. He was arrested. The next one is 41-year-old Irving Oliver of Lakeland. Okay, let's find Mr. Irving. Irving Oliver, that's this gentleman right here, 41 years old. He engaged in an online conversation with an undercover detective who was posing as a 14-year-old girl, and they texted back and forth repeatedly via cell phone. He asked the girl if she wanted to have sex with him, and he asked for the address to the undercover location. He arrived at the location and was arrested without incident. His criminal history and prior arrests are for battery, domestic violence, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, violation of an injunction for protection, no valid driver's license, and failure to appear. Isn't that just wonderful? Isn't he just a nice guy? Number 3 is 33-year-old Jared Justice of Los Angeles, California. Jared Justice. Where is Jared? Jared. Oh, this is a real winner. Look at this guy. Jared Justice. Right there's Jared. "33-year-old Jared Justice, while on vacation from Florida, engaged in an online conversation via a message app with an undercover detective who was posing as a 13-year-old girl. They texted back and forth. He discussed what he wanted to do with her sexually when he arrived and promised to bring condoms. When he arrived to the undercover location with condoms, she asked him to bring her some candy, so he drove to a store and bought her some Sour Patch Kids. He returned to the location and was arrested without incident. He told the deputies that he was married and he works at Best Buy. He was booked into the Polk County Jail and charged with 1 count of traveling to meet a minor for sex and 1 count of attempted lewd battery. Okay, number 4. 31-year-old Leor Imbar of Orlando. This guy right here. Let's see. Let me get it turned right so you can see him. These guys, let me tell you something, people. I do not feel sorry for these people. These people were caught red-handed with their hands in the cookie jar. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They were caught full on making conversation with what they thought were children. So with all my chest, I'm putting their pictures out there, just like Polk County Jail Sheriff did. I do not care to show their pictures on here. This is not alleged stuff. These people were arrested for trying to have sex with minors. So I am not putting alleged on any of this. They have proof that they tried to have sex with minors. So I am putting their pictures out there. Y'all need to see their faces. On July 27th, Inbar engaged in an online conversation with an undercover detective who was posing as a 14-year-old girl. He then began calling her cell phone using *67 to block his number. Now, see, this is how sneaky that guy was. He asked the girl for photos and videos and discussed what he wanted to do with her. I'm going to stop using the term sexually because my dad's home and I don't think he wants to hear it. He asked for the address to the undercover location and drove there with condoms, where he was arrested without incident. He told the deputies he lives with his parents and he's a Domino's pizza driver. This guy is 31 years old. He wanted to have a safe word, Judd explained. We have a safe word, jail. Imbar was booked in the Polk County Jail and was charged with 1 count of traveling to meet a minor for sex, 1 count of attempted lewd battery, and giving false info to law enforcement officers. So, yeah, safe word is jail for you, Leor. 30-year-old Joshua Ortega of Davenport. Let's look up Joshua. Joshua Ortega. This is Joshua. Well, he looks like a real winner, doesn't he? Woo! Let's get a good look at him there. Focus. Camera, let me tell you something. We're gonna fight. Is that Ortega? Yeah, Joshua Ortega. There we go. He's 30 years old. It's like we're talking about women, 30 years old. Ortega engaged in an online conversation with an undercover detective who was posing as a 13-year-old girl, then asked for her phone number and communicated with her that way. He told the girl that he wanted to do what he wanted to do with her, the S way, and told the girl that he wanted to do with her and promised her that he had condoms and he wouldn't get her pregnant. He asked for the address to the undercover location and then walked there with those condoms, and he was arrested without incident. He told the deputies he's unemployed and lives with his mother and that he walked to the location to have S with her because he hadn't had S in a while. His criminal history includes previous arrests for possession of cocaine and marijuana, burglary, grand theft, no valid driver's license, and violation of probation. He was released from state prison in January 2020. He just got out of prison in 2020, guys. Detectives found PCP and drug paraphernalia concealed in his wallet. Ortega was booked into the Polk County Jail and was charged with, I can only imagine what he was charged with, 1 count of traveling to meet a minor for S, 1 count of attempted lewd battery, 1 count of introduction to contraband into a detention facility, 1 count of possession of PCP, and 1 count of possession of paraphernalia. This guy, do you realize this guy is 30 years old? He not only took drugs to go meet a 13-year-old kid, but he was out of prison and had been arrested for grand theft, burglary, and possession of cocaine and marijuana. This guy was dangerous. And at least he didn't drive. He didn't have a valid driver's license, so he didn't drive to go meet her. But I mean, still, that's, anyway. Number 6. 45-year-old Julio Enrique Cadino Jr. Zafriel Hills. I'm not sure how you say that. So Julio. Wait a minute. I got Julio and some other guy mixed up earlier. I must have, because who did I get confused earlier? I got Julio and somebody else confused earlier. I don't know, but anyway, this is Julio. No, I didn't. This is Julio. On the 29th of July, Cadino engaged in an online conversation with an undercover detective posing as a 13-year-old girl. Now, this guy's 45 years old. Think about that for a minute. 13-year-old child. Then he asked for her phone number and communicated with her that way. Told the girl what he wanted to do with her S-way and asked for her photos, video, or video chat. Then sent her explicit photos of himself. He asked for the address to the undercover location and then drove there with condoms, where he was arrested without incident. He told deputies that he's married and was a self-employed general contractor. His criminal history includes a previous arrest for aggravated battery, theft, and violation of probation. He was booked, blah, blah, blah. Real winner in my world. 46-year-old Juan Guadalupe Aro of Davenport. This guy. Right next to Julio. Come on. Focus. Okay. On the 30th of July, Guadalupe Aro engaged in an online conversation with an undercover detective posing as a 14-year-old boy. Now, this guy is the one. Wait, is this the one? Is this the one? No, this is not the one. Okay. He told the boy what he wanted to do with him. He asked for the address and the location. Then he drove there with protection, where he was arrested without incident. Do you want to know what this guy does for a living? This sickened me. This sickened me to my core. This guy is an RN. He's a registered nurse at Advent Health Care Center in Celebration. How do we know what he's doing at the hospital? Is that a nursing home? I don't know. But how do we know he's not at the hospital diddling kids if that's a hospital? Anyway. 36-year-old Carlos Flores. This guy right here. The one I've got my finger on the top. He engaged in an online conversation with an undercover detective posing as a 13-year-old girl. He asked for a phone number, communicated that way. He told the girl that he was 17. This guy's 36, and he told the detective he was 17. Told her that he wanted to have S in her car, asked for the address. He took protection. He was arrested without incident. Guess where he works? This is even better. He works at the Orlando International Airport at the Starbucks. He's the manager. at the Starbucks at Orlando International Airport. Y'all need to support that Starbucks. Sickening. Sickening. Just no. Just no. Okay. Number 9, 47-year-old Enrique Medina of Orlando. Enrique. This gentleman right here. This sick looking man right there. He was engaged in online conversation with an undercover detective posing as a 13-year-old girl. Asked for phone number, communicated with her that way, told the girl that things he wanted to do with her, asked for address and location, then drove there and was arrested without incident. He worked for Selmar International in the sanitation department. These people work, like if you live in Florida, these people work everywhere. Everywhere. And I'm getting ready to rock your world because there's 2 more coming up that work at somewhere very, very, very well known. 30-year-old Adam Smith of Kissimmee. Oh, he's a real winner. Look at this guy. Doesn't he look like a real winner? This guy right here. Oh, look at me, Mom. Look, Mom, I'm on the news. Wait, let me see if I can get it on there. There he is. Look, Mom, I'm on the news. Look at me. He was talking to a 14-year-old girl. I'm saying detectives now. When I say 14-year-old girl or boy, they were not real children. They were detectives. So I'm just taking the detective word out of it. They were not talking to children. They were talking to a detective. So don't think I'm saying children. They were talking to detectives. Talking to someone posing as a 14-year-old girl. He asked for phone number. They communicated that way. He told the girl what he wanted to do with her, Asked for the address. He drove there and was arrested without incident. He told the deputies he was employed as a maintenance technician at a hotel in the Old Town area of Kissimmee. His criminal history includes a previous arrest for battery, domestic violence, tampering with evidence, and violation of probation. Oh, he's a real winner. Okay, number 11 is 27-year-old Jeremiah Davis of Clewiston, Clewiston. Let's see, what was his name again? Jeremiah Davis. Jeremiah, where are you, Jeremiah? Oh, this is this gentleman right here. Jeremiah Davis, right there he is. Let's get him at front and center. There you are, Jeremiah. Let's get your picture out there for everybody to see now, Jeremiah. Only a face a mother can love. Davis engaged in an online conversation with a 14-year-old girl, someone posing as a 14-year-old girl. Asked for a phone number, communicated that way. Told the girl that what he wanted to do. He asked for the address and was arrested without incident. He is an Army veteran, currently employed by the city of Clewiston as a garbage truck driver. Isn't that sweet? He works for the city. They're everywhere. Thomas Snyder is number 12. There's only 17 guys, so I'm going through all the 17. Thomas Snyder is this gentleman right here. Snyder engaged in online conversation with an undercover detective posing as a 14-year-old boy. He sent explicit photos to the boy and told the boy the things that he wanted to do with him. And he asked for the address and was arrested without incident. Oh, well, he took an Uber to the area. He told deputies that he's a custodian at the Valencia Hills nursing home. And the sheriff, the Polk County sheriff said, what is it with these these sexual deviants, well, he didn't call them deviants, but these sexual predators and them being custodians. Because there's a lot of them that are custodians. He was booked at Polk County Jail. Okay, 34-year-old David Ring of Lakeland. So David Ring, that's this gentleman right here. Looks like he needs him a haircut. Should have had him a haircut before he went on national news. Wait. Tina, if you could do this. There he is. Right there. Well, let's see if I can get him on there right. There he is. David Ring. Okay. David Ring, 34 years old. He was talking to a 14-year-old, someone posing as a 14-year-old girl. He sent several images and videos, told the things he wanted to do, asked for the address, drove there. He was arrested without incident, told he was unemployed. His criminal history includes a previous arrest for knowingly driving while his license was suspended. Oh, he's such a little girl. He just didn't do anything wrong, did he? Sickening. 27-year-old Phillip Nelson is our 14th one. That is this gentleman right here. Mr. Phillip Nelson's right there. Okay. He was engaged with a 14-year-old, someone posing as a 14-year-old girl. He asked for a phone number. They communicated that way, told the girl things he wanted to do, asked for the address. He drove to the area where he was arrested after a traffic stop while trying to leave the area. So he got to the area and then he tried to bail. He told deputies he's an apprentice line technician for Powertown Line Construction and that he left his 2 children at home with his mother when he traveled to have sex with the minor. Oh, and I took notes. That was he had a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old that he left at home with his mom to have sex with this girl. Ain't that something? Now, isn't that a real winner for you? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'm telling you. He's a real winner if you ever asked one. Number 15. We're coming down to him, buddy. 34-year-old Jonathan Mcgrew of Kissimmee. Where's Jonathan? Right there's Jonathan. Is this Jonathan? Okay, Jonathan is right here. Get you close up, Jonathan. Now, mind you, the Polk County Sheriff has done his talk. I'm just doing this on Haps because I felt like I needed to do this because it was just something that needed to be spread. Even though it's on Twitter, it's all over the news. I wanted to do it over here because I really felt like it needed to be done. We don't talk about this enough. Pedophilia is talked about, but we don't put their faces out there enough. Their faces need to be everywhere. On milk cartons, on grocery bags. I don't care where you put them. They need to be everywhere. They need to be so prevalent that they can't move anywhere. They can't go anywhere where they're not known. I'm sorry. I don't care if they do their time. These people are sick. They have a sickness. And I don't know if it can ever be cured. I don't know. I really don't. So I think it needs to be on the forefront. The same way as murderers and rapists. Can they ever be cured? I don't know. Some murderers have been put out of prison and they have reoffended. So tell me if you wouldn't want their picture on a newspaper and on a grocery bag or on a milk carton. I think I would. If they were serial killers, don't ever let them back out. That's how I feel about it. But anyway, so this was this was Jonathan Mcgrew. It's who I showed last, right? Mr. Jonathan, on August the 1st, engaged with a 13-year-old, someone posing as a 13-year-old undercover officer. He told the girl that he wanted her to come to his apartment and have sex with him and his girlfriend, Savannah. That's right. This is the couple. So this is Jonathan and Savannah. So this is Jonathan. This is the couple. So Jonathan is the boyfriend and Savannah is the girlfriend. Like up here, Savannah. So I'm going to show you the whole sheet. So you see Jonathan here. See Jonathan here. Wait, Jonathan and Savannah, the only girl on the whole sheet. Go, Tina. The only girl on the whole sheet. What they did is she said she was a follower. She was just a follower. And I'm going to tell you what the Polk County Sheriff said after I do this, but he sent videos of him and his girlfriend performing acts on each other, asked for the address to the undercover location, and when he and Lawrence took an Uber to the location where they were arrested without incident, Mcgrew communicated with another undercover detective who was posing as a 14-year-old girl during the same time frame, also telling her he wanted to have sex with her. Upon the arrest, Mcgrew and Lawrence told deputies that they're custodians. Are you getting this? At Disney World, at Walt Disney World. That's not one, not two, but 3 people that worked at Walt Disney World. So while you guys are running around Walt Disney World without a care in the world, you have had 3 people without you knowing it.
They do that because people find.
That's what I'm saying. You've had sex offenders, pedophiles, right there, working under your nose with your children. Them just salivating the whole time. Mcgrew and Lawrence told deputies that they're custodians at Walt Disney World's Hollywood Studios. His criminal history includes previous arrests for leaving the scene of an accident involving injury or death in Illinois. Mcgrew was booked on Polk County Jail, and then Savannah Lawrence, Lawrence's boyfriend, Jonathan Mcgrew, of course, they rode together in the Uber. She was arrested without incident, and it just says that she was charged with the same charge that, 1 count of traveling to meet a minor, 1 count of attempted lewd battery, and last but not least, and I'm going to read some notes that I had I didn't finish watching the entire video from the Polk County Sheriff. If you guys get a chance, go over and watch the Polk County Sheriff's Department's video from the Fox News. It is hilarious because the sheriff, I'm going to read some notes. The sheriff was hilarious, and not to be snide or not to be anything like that. He was given dirt, like dirt, and I'm going to tell you in a minute. The last but not least is 37-year-old Edward Mcgafkin of Orlando, and that's this man right. This guy. This guy looks like he also needs a haircut and a face cut. This guy right here. I mean, he just looks like he needs a haircut. This guy over here, way over here. This guy right here. Okay. He was talking to someone posing as a 14-year-old girl. He asked for phone number, and communicated that way. Told the girl that he wanted to have S with her. sent several explicit photos. The detectives obtained a warrant for his arrest, and he was taken into custody at his Orlando home. He told deputies that he was a professional poker player. His criminal history includes a previous arrest for DUI in Virginia. He was arrested in Orlando on a Polk warrant and booked into Orange County Jail for 1 count of unlawful use of two-way communication device and 3 counts of transmission of material harmful to a minor. I think the reason that they arrested him instead of waiting for the sting is probably the sting was almost over and they wanted to make sure that they got him included in the sting. But let me tell you what the sheriff had to say about a few of these guys. One of these men has HIV. I want you to look real close. One of these men wanted to infect a young girl with HIV. Take that in for a minute. One of those men had HIV. He couldn't, because of HIPAA, tell us which one had HIV. One of them was infected with HIV. One of them the custodian at Valencia Hills Rehab Center, which one was that? He wanted to smell the little boy's feet. Now, I'm reminding you again, none of these were children. All of these were very skilled sheriff's department employees. Very, very skilled people. They're trained to do this. They're trained to talk to these pedophiles. They're trained to do this job. And they're very good at what they do. But this guy told him that he loved to smell stinky feet and told the little boy he wanted to smell his feet and suck on his toes. And the sheriff was like, he's got 5 brain cells and 4 of them ain't working. 4 of them ain't firing. And I mean, the sheriff was just tearing these guys up, tearing these people up. And, you know, I just think that we need to, we as a society, we view pedophiles as that's something that happens to everybody else's kids. That's something that happens to, oh, that happened down to Susie. That happened down to Susie Q's children. That's not going to happen to my kids. Do not say that, because it is so scary what can happen to your children when they're not with you. Like, I know for a fact that it was rumored that down at a church not too far from where I live, the Sunday school teacher of one of the church leaders was grooming a girl in church. I mean, you didn't hear about it in the paper. It never came out in the paper because nobody turned it in. And I'm like, what is wrong with people? That is a reportable offense. I don't care if you think it's going to ruin somebody's life. If you think your child is being messed with, you don't take a chance on that. You don't pull the rumor and you don't start talking. You don't run a rumor mill. If you think someone's child's being messed with, you go to that mother, or you don't talk about it. You know, that's how I feel. Like, if I thought something was happening to AJ or Jake, I would go to Becky. And then it would stay in our family until we knew something was going on. Then we would go to the police. And by Jove, if they didn't do anything, then we would do something else. We would go higher than that. We would go to the next police department. You know, there's always another avenue. But you don't stop. I mean, and I think what the problem is people think it's not their right or their position to report. If I don't care who you are, and let me say this with all my chest, so y'all don't get confused. If you see an act of abuse or you know of an act of abuse, you have a right to report that. And if you don't, you've contributed to it. Plain and simple. So let me say that again. If you know of an act, if you've witnessed it, like if you've witnessed an act of abuse and you didn't report it, you are as good as being a part of it. You are contributing to the abuse. That means elder abuse. That means child abuse. I mean, that means if you know somebody's stealing from their job. I mean, like I said, nobody wants to be that person. I don't even want to be that person. I never want to be the person that says, hey, look, what you're doing is wrong. I don't. But I'm not going to lie for somebody. So don't ever ask me to. I mean, as much as I love the Bear family and I love my cubbies, but don't you ever ask me to lie for you because I won't do it. Y'all should know me better than that. You know what I mean? Like, you need to know that there's consequences to everything that happened in this life, and I won't compromise my soul for the family. Now, I love the family. I will help my family in any way I can. But you as people need to know that there's consequences to everything that happened in this life, and that we need to help each other out. Like, if you know of a family that's having trouble, if you know there's a battered wife and you don't say something, you don't pick up the phone when she's being battered and you're living next door. See, this is what I don't understand. If you live next door to a family and you see bruises on her and you can hear her being thrown up against the wall every night on Friday night when he gets drunk, how can you live with yourself? Because that wouldn't be me. I'd be dialing 911. Yep, they're at it again. You best get over here. He's going to kill her. They don't have to tell who called. You can remain anonymous. Just don't let her be beat. Don't let him be beat. Don't let the kids be beaten. You doing what you're doing. Now, I'm going to say this, though. There are some people on Periscope or on Twitter taking it way too far. There are some people that are taking it way too far with a friend of mine by reporting her for nothing. I just don't get why some people think it's okay to ruin other people's lives for no reason. Just because she's happy. You think just because she has someone in her life now that she's ignoring her children. No. I just don't understand people's thought process. You know, I just don't understand. I just wish that people could understand that everybody has a life to live. And, you know, there's a fine line between being happy and, you know, a child needing help. And a mother that's taking care of her kids is not a child needing help. Big difference. If a child's being neglected, you'd know it. I'm just saying. Anyway, I love you guys. I love you very much. I just wanted to once again share these photos. These are your douchebags of the day, as Philip DeFranco would say. All 17 of them. They're pretty much dirt bags from way back. and I just wanted to share them with you today. And like I said, go watch this article. I will tell you, this article came from because this is a news story. I will tell you the original article came from Fox Television, Fox Television station. This was the actual article from Fox TV. It was Fox 13 News. It was published by Polk County Fox 13 News, by Ken Suarez. Given my dues where dues are due. So there's my article. Link. But go watch the sheriff. He was amazing today, talking about his officers. And I went to go visit my best friend today. My big brother, he's been my big brother since I was in my teens, and he did not recognize me today, which broke my heart. And when he finally did recognize me, he grabbed me and hugged me, and I'm like, can't believe you didn't recognize me. He's like, you've changed so much. I said, well, so have you. But yeah, I got to see him today, and we talked about his son becoming a sergeant, and we just had such a good meeting. And I'm going to go back and see him again on a Monday so that we get more time together. But just, yeah, go visit the Fox 13 News channel so you can see the actual full, the sheriff doing the actual interview, telling about this. And I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And thank you, Miss Christy. I thank you so much. But I love you guys. Share the love I share with you with someone else, and smile at somebody. You never know if the smile you share with someone can change their entire day. I love y'all, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.